Hi guys, Dr. Mel. We're busy with acids and bases. And remember, one part that you haven't done in previous lessons is hydrolysis. So it's important that you have a look at this. They will ask and expect you to know hydrolysis. So, what do you know? You know already that acids will form salts with either water or hydrogen gas. Now, hydrogen gas will just be when it's a metal. In the other three cases, where I've got an oxide, a hydroxide, and a carbonate, in all three cases, you'll form a salt and water. And then the only exception will be when it's carbonate, it will also have carbon dioxide. So that you know already. Now we're going to have a look. If I have a reaction of water, this is my solute, and I've got the salt. So in actual fact, I'm going to reverse this reaction. I've got the salt here and I've got the water there. And I'm now going to do the reverse reaction. If I put the salt in water, what will happen? And that we call hydrolysis. So let's have a look. If I've got water and the ion that forms is then specifically hydronium. Well, you know, if I've got hydronium, I've got acid. It's acidic. On the other hand, if I've got an ion and it forms, let me just go to the next slide, and it forms hydroxide, you know it's going to be basic. Now, in terms of the acid, we can have two different reactions. If I've got water and the ion is, in this case, hydronium that forms, and remember, the other ion will be what is left of the salt. I will have a dissociation of ions because they are now, for instance, that. And you've got the water, and now you get the hydronium. If it's a salt like I've got on the screen here now, I've got ammonium chloride, it's a solid, it is a salt. I've put in lots of water. I don't just have one H2O. You know that this water will act as an acid. It will provide the proton. And can you see these two will then separate? The water will be surrounded here and this ions will separate. Can you see there? So I've got, let me just take this one out. I've got the water surrounding. I've got the ammonium chloride dividing into ions, and that's now the two ions I'm sitting with. Now I take these ions, have a look at that, and I'm going to throw more water into it. And can you see that water will now take that specific NH4 and the hydrogen will be donated there. Can you see what's going to form in excess? You now have H3O plus. And what does that mean? It means it's an acid. So important, if the ion that's provided is a hydronium, in other words, you've got more hydroniums than anything else, you know I'm working in an acid. Let's have a look at this one. Here I've got the water and the iron. I've got hydroxide forming. Can you see that? Not hydronium. And again, it's dissociation. So let's have a look at the example. I've got sodium carbonate. I'm dissolving it in water. It's a solid. I'm getting sodium ions and I'm getting carbonate ions. If I take that carbonate and here it is, and I put more water into it, can you see? One of the hydrogens will go there and form bicarbonate, and the OH, the hydroxide, will remain, which came from the water, and therefore it is now a basic solution. So you've got either a salt forming H3O plus, that means it's acidic, or you get a salt that forms hydroxide, and that's then basic. You need to know, you will probably just get either of these three. There you'll have your NH4 plus and Cl minus. And remember what happened if I put that into water. I then got hydronium plus what remains. Can you see there? That's important. So that's the acid. And in the case of this one, let me just get another color. I had sodium carbonate, and it was those ions that you had. And this again with water gave you the hydroxide. So that is the basic. So you need to know them, and you're gonna see now it's gonna implicate in your indicators. Is the reaction between water and ions in a salt? It is the definition. It is definitely a reaction, hydrolysis. Hydro, it's water. And what does it do? It gives you the ions. The ion can either be hydronium or it can be hydroxide. Let me just stress this again. If it's hydronium, it's an acidic solution. If it's hydroxide, it's a basic solution. Right, let's have a look at the pHs. If I had a strong acid there and I added a strong base, can you see I will probably get a neutralized position there? I'm saying probably, I can actually say definitely. And the pH will be 7. On the other hand, if I've got, this is a strong acid, do you see here? And I could even say it's nearer to 0. And I've got the strong base, there it is. The end point of that salt reaction forming there will be 7. On the other hand, if I had a weak acid, now let's have a look. I've got ethanoic acid. Now ethanoic acid is probably around 4. So I'm now putting a weak acid there with a strong base. Now the strong base, guys, is still here. So can you see, if we now go to the end point, it will not be 7. It will probably be around 9. That will be when I've got a weak base and a weak acid and a strong base. So I'm working to get the middle of this. Now that will have serious implication in your choice of indicators. Finally, what happens if I take a strong acid, like hydrochloric acid, with a weak base? Now again, a strong acid is here, going this side, and a weak base will start somewhere here and go there. And can you see, you will be probably around the 4 where you get your endpoint. So you need to know that a strong acid and a weak base is different than a strong acid and a strong base. Right, let's have a look at our pH indicators. And now I want you to think, why would I use a specific indicator? If I use litmus, can you see here, it will be red and blue, but its pH range is from 4 to 8.3. So it's here from 4 to 8.3. There it will have a certain color. So that will basically tell me it's acidic or it's basic. On the other hand, if I took methyl orange, it's got a range of 3 to 4. Can you see, this would be very good to use methyl orange there, because that would tell me it's a strong acid but a weak base endpoint. And then, for instance, the phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is at 8.3 and 10. And now we're getting to this one here. So phenolphthalein will give me that endpoint. So it's not just randomly choosing an indicator. I need to know in which range will it change its color. And then finally, I've got bromo-T-mol blue. And can you see, this will be very nice to use when you've got 7 as your endpoint. So in order for us to know what's going to happen, you need to know if it's a strong acid and a strong base, you need an indicator to give you that endpoint. Let's see if I've got a strong acid but a weak base. Where am I now? I've got a strong acid. Now I've got a strong base, sorry. I've got a strong base there and a weak base. You need that there. And then finally, if I have a weak acid and a strong base, you get your point there. Can you see there? There's different indicators that will change into different colors. Right, we need to know hydrolysis. We need to know, is it acidic and does it have more hydroniums, or is it basic where it actually gives you the OH minus? And you need to know the names, guys. We need to know that this ion is acidic and that one is basic. And then finally, we need to know the salts and the indicators that you use when you've got the reactions. We'll do another lesson just on pH, and we're going to actually apply all the knowledge that you've done just now. Bye.